To do adding real numbers, you're basically just going to press in your calculator, but I've put the rules over here to the side so you can tell exactly what the rules are if you're going to do it by hand. But in this case, we have two negative numbers. My answer is going to be negative, and when I add, I get negative 26. And if I take the next two and add them, because they're both negative, I get a 1, but it happens to be a negative. Now the ones that are a little bit difficult are the fraction ones, where we're going to need to change the fractions to a decimal or change the fractions to the common denominator. In this case, because they're pretty simple, I'm going to change them to decimals, and when I add, I get a negative 1.25. So basically, when you have two negative numbers, you add. So same sign, add the numbers, take the sign. So this would be a negative 35. This would be a negative 1.5. Now here's an example where that's a repeating decimal. So in this case, we're going to need to change the numerator. So we're going to change the denominator 6, and because we multiply by 2, we're going to change the numerator. And when we have the same denominators, we can then add to get our answer. Simplifying algebraic expression simply means adding like terms. So anything that is alike, we need to add. So in this case, these are like terms because they have the same letter, and so I'm going to add them. But because I have opposite signs, I end up subtracting the two numbers. The letters do not change. So when I combine like terms, the letters don't change. I just combine the ones that are the same. So if I look at this next problem, I have a 7y and a negative 9y because they're alike. And I also have this negative 12z and the 15z. So if I add my like terms, in this case, I'm adding the numbers, but one's opposite. So I subtract negative 2y, and then I do the z's, I get that answer is simplified. These two cannot be combined because they're not like terms. Sometimes you have to distribute first or remove the parentheses. So if I multiply this, and then I have my negative 25x, these two right here are the same, so I can combine them, but I cannot combine the 24, and so I get my answer. So here's the answer to the second one. The next problem, same thing, we want to combine like terms. The only two things that are alike are these two, and so I get a negative 7y plus a negative 10z. Here we have to remove the parentheses, so I'm going to remove the parentheses by multiplying. And then these two are like terms, and I can combine them. And I have my answer.